This has the energy of, I think the way that you're sat with me is like two aunts have cornered me at a birthday.
Oh yeah, and we get closer throughout the pod.
That is what we want this to feel like exactly.
Who are you dating?
That's literally it.
Yeah.
Very much.
Hello. My name is Olga Koch. I am a host of a podcast called Family Jewels, and I hosted with my best friend,
Charlie Dinkin.
Today we are joined by
Is that you?
comedian, writer, podcaster.
Ooh.
It's the one and only Sarah Keyworth.
Woo!
Yay!
Thank you for coming on our podcast.
Thank you so much for having me, both of you.
A treat
You can just,
and a
you
dream.
could do chunks looking at
don't know
Charlie,
where to
and I
look.
won't be
I know, we
offended,
have
and
been at a rounder table in the past, but we are where we are.
Yeah.
It's got a DIY energy.
I love
it. Very much Olga's former bedsheet, the
I've
background.
had sex on those sheets.
That's horrible.
Whoa.
I
And
wish
you
I
know who
didn't know
bought them
that.
for me? My dad. He did. He thought it made him think of me.
You had sex here? And here?
Yeah.
And here?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's real
It's
nice.
all just my period blood, really, the hearts. That's vile.
She's an artist.
Sarah,
1 minute.
how you doing today?
I'm very well, apart from I was until that period blood thing, and now everything's gone wrong. But
We're all thinking about that.
now we're gonna.
But you're good. You've been on tour. You are on tour.
I'm on tour right now, all the time,
touring your
forever.
award-winning show.
touring the award-winning show,
Both
that-
winning and nominated. Fantastic show. Check it out if you can.
all over the UK. And let me tell you, they don't know it's nominated. They don't know it's award-winning.
They don't know how good it is.
They're just drunk.
Oh, that's nice. You're allowing them a nice night out.
They're having a good time.
That's important.
They want me to ask them what they do for a living.
What is comedy if not being asked what you do for a living?
Okay, I have so many non-family related questions. So first and foremost, you are incredible at audience interaction, audience
Thank
participation. You are fantastic. Like, you are the only person who actually is allowed to do it legally. I know, I've
legally?
looked this
That's what
up.
I had.
Thank you.
No.
That's why
You
they
are
haven't
like
arrested
the
me yet.
only crowd clips I will watch are yours. Everyone else scroll
I
past.
agree. I
scroll
am
past,
actually
don't give a
delighted to see
shit.
a
Thank
crowd
you.
work clip from you.
This is nice to hear. I do think I'm slightly getting, because crowd work is getting a bit of shit at the moment, but I feel like I'm somehow getting away with it.
Yeah, you are, definitely.
It's because
I don't
you're
know.
charming and you're not mean. Like, I'm
meme
always
thing, yeah.
really, really scared that someone's just gonna be like, "You're a fucking dumbass,"
Yeah.
and that I don't love that. So my question is, if you have your show that's an hour long and you have an opener that's presumably doing like 15 to 20, when is the crowd work?
I go out, I do 5 to 10 minutes of just saying hello.
Yeah.
Literally say, I'm just proving to you that I'm on site.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'll bring the opener on. So that is like crowd work opportunity.
Yeah.
And then there's a bit written into the show where I ask a direct question and invite somebody to speak to me. So that is specifically for that one person who's just like
Yeah, do you
vibrating
find
in
people
their
who are
seat.
like sitting in the front row because they're like waiting for you to talk
Yeah,
to
I
them?
think so. Yeah, there's definitely people who are looking like, talk to me, and then sometimes they just can't, they have to speak. So I'm like, if somebody's sat there like that, then I give them that moment.
That's nice.
So you have a built-in speak now or forever hold your peace
Pretty
moment
much, yeah.
into your
This
show.
is I hand over to you, and you can scream if you need to.
I really love that.
I stole it from Taylor Tomlinson. She was doing it in her show.
Which the built-in audience interaction?
Built-in questions. So when she was her show that's now on Netflix, the most recent one, she had like 2 specific points where she asked direct questions, and it's an easy way of being like, if the questions are kind of boring and they don't go anywhere, you can just go, "Oh, great," and then move on.
Yeah.
So I think her
And it's like, you had your chance.
Yeah,
You had your chance, sir.
her 2 questions were like, "Does anyone got anything wild that a therapist said to them?" And then it was also like, "Oh, can anyone give me like a piece of advice to get to sleep? And please,
They are
please don't
great.
make it shit."
Those
They're
are
good
great.
questions.
Yeah.
And then if you, worst case scenario, you can either say your own answer or create a bank of previous answers from other gigs.
And she can give a funny one because someone did that. So, like, but it was funny. The one in London I saw, some guy was like, "The shipping forecast," and that's really British. And she was like, "What the
Fun.
fuck is that?" And
Okay, that's
fun.
great.
Kinda,
That's
yeah.
great.
We're doing a bit of
Local flair.
cross-cultural.
Yeah, everyone's
Local flair.
laughing. She doesn't get it, and it's like fun. So.
Very good.
I'm always fascinated with like conversational hacks that make people feel special, right? You always clock them. So one of the things that I've noticed is whenever you meet a celebrity, right? And I've met my fair share of celebrities. I'm always at the airport, outside the premium lounge, waiting for people to come out. But basically, what celebrities do to make you feel special is to say, "What's your name?" Because everybody's has a name, and your immediate impression is like, "Oh my God, they care about me.
You know
They've asked me a personal question," but it's the most neutral personal question you can ask, and they've taken like the sort of the weight off themselves, and you're just like there being like, "I'm Olga," and you're like,
can't believe you asked my name.
So that's why in the middle of your show you go, "Does anyone have a name?"
"Oh my God, and now those fuckers eat it up." I met Devendra Banhart. First question, "What's your name?" I met Jonathan Ames, the writer, on the subway. First question, "What's your name?" I'll be like, "Oh my God, are you Jonathan Ames?" And he went, "What's your name?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, he's in love with me." He's fucking obsessed
He's
with
writing
me.
down your name. Just a little description of what you look like.
Yeah. Avoid
is too
not
much.
allowed into any room where I am.
I've started doing this thing that's mostly for me during shows, where if somebody gets up to go to the bathroom, I will try and get as much information as I can from the person they're with about the person.
Oh, that's sick. You Darren Brown them.
Yeah, and then when they come back, I'll have carried on, so I'm talking. They sit down, and I'll go like, "Oh, you're right, Dave," and then I'll go,
that's
and then
so
I go
good.
like, "You've been together 20 years," and people go, and
Yeah, they love
it's
it.
the most I feel like a magician on stage, because people are like, "Oh my God."
Such a good trick.
But it's so fun to do because it's nothing. It's
Yeah.
literally nothing.
But that's adorable. I think that's great. I bet people
so
absolutely love it
good.
because they're like, "Oh, you're interested in me as well as my toilet going partner." Everyone around is like, "This is callback."
And
to
they
what we
feel like
just
they're in an
heard.
inside joke.
I'm like, "Oh, I hear you're studying law," and there's one woman the other day went, "How do you know that?" And I was like, "You left the room. You walked out."
Oh, that's
I was just
delightful.
peeing. I wasn't even talking out loud.
So, yeah.
Surveillance
been
could be
fun.
fun, and I want that to be the message of the podcast.
Yeah.
So let's get to your mother's maiden name.
Here we fucking go.
Sarah, can you tell us where you grew up and everything, sort of the makeup of your immediate family?
Okay. I grew up in Nottingham.
Pew, 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 pew.
Tell me you've heard of it.
I like Nottingham. I've been to Nottingham. I have a cousin who lives in Nottingham.
From what I
No
know,
way, where?
I actually don't know specifically.
Oh my
You
But
God.
she's
very-
lived there for a long time.
very cool contemporary art gallery in Nottingham as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it called the Contemporary?
Don't quote me on that. I just
Okay.
remember the building looking
And an
very
old
chic.
pub.
Very old pub.
No, it is old.
Oh,
Yeah,
how
yeah,
old are we
the
But they
talking?
think it's the,
The
oldest
old
one.
trip to Jerusalem. It's built into the side of a cliff.
Wait,
They're like-
what?
You know where?
I thought I was like, is that a biblical joke? What's
no,
going on?
It's called the old trip to
Okay.
Jerusalem, and you know where the Glee Club is in
Yeah.
Nottingham. So it's just kind of around the corner from there. So you could, if you wanted to, go for a quick pint of the trip and then go to the Glee Club.
What a trip.
Yeah. But they've closed the Glee Club now, I
Oh,
think.
well, they
Okay,
can't go
speaking
speaking
of the
of
trip to
RIP.
Jerusalem, can I tell you the craziest fucking story?
Please.
So my parents are like, we went to this church in Italy. Cool, great opener. Okay,
God.
so essentially, basically, there's this big cathedral, right? There's this big cathedral.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I found it the most funniest thing in the world. And then they're like, it's the cathedral dedicated to the house in which Mary got the news that she's pregnant. Are we following? Right? And I was like, okay, so I guess it's like, okay, so it's like you go to like, I don't know, St. Paul's, and that's dedicated to St. Paul, and I guess this one's dedicated to the house.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, well, kind of weird, but all right, whatever. And then I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It was the funniest thing that's ever happened. My mom goes, no, the house is there.
What?
So apparently the house by itself flew to Italy with 2 stops, which I love. I love the 2 stops. The 2 stops is the best detail. The fact that the house presumably got tired and so it got stopped. No one took it there. The house flew there.
What?
And now the house is inside the cathedral, but you can't see the house because it's enveloped in like a marble box. So you go into the cathedral and there's this huge marble box, and everyone's like, the house is inside, the house is inside, and all the frescoes are on all of the fucking walls is the house with little wings on it. I'm not kidding.
This cannot be real.
I need to show you
This
the
is some
fresco.
lost in translation
inside
thing.
this marble tomb is
It's
just
presumably the house that flew with 2 stops.
just such a decrepit pregnancy test. Covered in ancient tears.
First, question one, where in Italy?
Okay, wait. I know. I'm really sorry. We're looking this up.
We've got so many questions.
Italian cathedral for Mary House fly. That's fact checking the flying house of Loreto. Early modern truth and doubt.
I'm just introduced introducing
Just
a little
doubt.
doubt
Guys,
here.
it's
Just doubt.
ItalyMagazine.com saying the miracle of the Virgin Mary's flying house.
Wait, I've
Okay,
never heard
so-
about this before ever.
No, I genuinely could not handle it. And then my mom showed me the fresco of the flying house, and I was like, all right, I'm in.
The difficulty with this is that once you start believing in the sort of like virgin birth, you can't be like, I draw the line at flying
The
house.
house is
That's
the
so
problem.
real,
You
actually.
can't like.
You got it. You're all in.
So the
all
flying
bets
house of
are off
Nazareth.
once you're-
Look how gorgeous the marble box is.
Oh
This
my
is the marble
God.
box for the house. You cannot see the house. It's inside the marble box.
Okay, the box is nice. It's like it's like something
Ornate.
that could have been stolen and put in the British Museum. Imagine that.
Yeah, but you could cover anything in nice marble and say
That's
it
true.
flew here.
Okay,
That's
are you
true.
ready? This is the house being flown.
Oh,
by
it's
the
being held by
angels.
angels.
Oh,
Yeah.
why are you making
God,
sounds
for
like this is
God's-
okay? You're like,
I
oh,
was like,
You
the
s-
house has little wings.
You said it did it by itself.
okay, I'm
It's
fairly sure
comic
there's
book.
no.
The house is
this
clearly
what you
being
showed me.
carried by
There
the
you go.
angels.
Sorry, I thought those were wings. Those are actually angels with wings.
Yeah,
I
that
was,
checks
I was
out.
wrong.
I got no problem with
I
that.
was wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I believe it.
this is the house being flown.
Yeah, it was being carried by like 8 angels, and it stopped. They
And
had to
they
stop
needed to stop
for
doing
rest.
because they got
Imagine
tired.
getting into work as an angel one day and they're like, we just have one big job. It's a couple of days.
You can't get this fucking house.
You gotta go and get this out with a few of you going.
This is not why I became an angel.
The upside is you can go to Florence for a bit, but the downside is you do have to carry the house there.
You gotta carry that.
Oh my
Wow,
God, it's
the
nuts.
adventures of your parents' holidays.
It's
wild.
nuts.
All right, we gotta get back on Nottingham.
I'm so sorry. That's what the trip to Jerusalem made me think of.
Yeah, so I was born in Nottingham. My mother was an angel. my father was a house. And
and that all checks out.
that all checks. That's all true. So I have a dad and a mom.
Nice,
Slay.
traditional.
And yeah, very traditional, and a brother, an older brother, who are all still in Nottingham.
Good, nice.
And
Same house that you grew up in.
No, well, my parents are in the house so we've lived in 3 different places in Nottingham. So when I was born, taken to one house. We've not gone far, in an area called Woodthorpe, and then
Some angels came around.
when we moved house when I was like 11 or something
Oh,
to a different house.
To a better house or just a different house?
It was a better house in my opinion.
Okay, that's good. That's positive for an
for an
age 11
11-year-old, yeah.
move.
But the big excitement was that the house that we moved into was directly next door to my cousin's house.
Oh, party.
So that was like
What a win.
life changing. Everything. It's all
A
very
similar
exciting.
age cousin?
Yeah, one is a day older than me, and then the other is the same age as my brother. So
Oh my God, perfect.
we were
They
very,
had
very,
to.
very close. We used to love going over to their house. So when my parents were like, "We found a new house for us to live in," and we were like, "Oh, where is it?" And they were like, "It is number 1 next door to their house."
Oh my God,
Can't give the
that's
address.
so
My
yeah,
fun.
parents
don't
still-
dox your family.
And we were like, "Ah!" It was crazy.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Because
That's like
they
Christmas
had a
every day.
trampoline, yeah, and we could go over. We'd put a hole in the fence, and we'd go over there. Oh my god,
God, that's so much fun.
it was great. It was really good. It was a really good time.
And then when did they leave that house?
Only when my cousins were like 18.
Okay, fine. You
So
had
then-
your fun.
Yeah. We were done on the trampoline.
Yeah.
Well, kind of done.
You're never really done. are
No,
you?
never really. I would go on it again now in a heartbeat.
So how long? How did your parents meet, and how long did they wait to have kids? What's their story?
Oh my god! Now you're asking.
I mean, the podcast is called Family Dreams.
Yeah, well, I can't believe you're asking this. My dad left school when he was 15. My mum is a couple of years younger than him. She stayed on at school, as did his younger brother. So
And they're both from Nottingham?
both from Nottingham. My mum was at school. They mixed co-ed, and my mum ended up being in like sixth form, or like I don't even know what it would be called, but that kind of age, 17, 18, with my uncle. And one Friday night, they all went out for drinks, and Vic, my uncle, brought his older brother, which was my dad,
Oh, nice.
and that's how they met.
Well, so they knew each other from when they were young.
Yeah. They got married when they were in their early 20s, and then they waited a good couple of decades to bang us out.
Really?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they were like, let's just vibe.
Yeah.
Did they not want kids, or?
This is part of the show that I
have
perform at
seen
the
it, but I
moment, where I'm like, I really, it only dawned on me recently that it was such an unusual thing for them to wait and have children in their like late 30s, early 40s when they were married
Yeah.
early 20s. And I was like, I like went to my mum and was like, what happened? Like, were you struggling to conceive children or something? And my mum literally said, no, honestly, we were just having so much fun.
The dream!
Yeah, we were just
Good
having so
answer.
much fun. And they were like traveling, they went to festivals, and they just had a great time. My
That is the
aunt and
fucking
uncle
dream.
of the aforementioned cousins did the same thing as well, similar age when they had their kids. So
They all just were
they were just hanging
living
out,
life,
they were
living a
just
whole life
getting
before you.
real drunk in France and drinking.
That's cool.
And just having a great time.
I
And
like
then
that. That's a great
They've
answer.
nailed it now because the age that we were when we left, like home, sort of mid-20s, they've both retired. So they kind of had a great time. Couple of kids, kind of ropey 50s, and two children. They're like, fuck this shit. And then hit their 60s, 70s.
But now they're out.
And now they're done.
And then it's back to the 20s and 30s
Yeah,
partying
and now
vibes.
they're just drunk all the time again.
Yeah.
Because then
They're
it's also
having a great
perfectly
time.
timed with your aunt and uncle as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they're
all
emerging
yeah,
together at the other end as well.
yeah, they're really
Oh
cute.
man, that's really cool.
Honestly,
They've nailed
I had,
it hard.
Obviously, I know that this happens, but I'd not even considered that the answer could just be we were having a great time.
I know.
That is ideal.
I'm fuming.
That is ideal. 20 years of just vibing.
And also, because the conversation I wanted to have with my mum was because, like, it's just so unusual to have children that late. And I was like, was people not kind of saying to you, like, are you going to have kids? Where are the babies? Kind of thing. And my aunt, and my mum were like, no, the conversations about, like, your body clock and things like that were just not being had. We weren't being told, like, you won't be able to conceive.
Wow.
Yeah.
Also, I need to say
I don't know
this.
whether they just weren't listening. Or...
Yeah, what the hell?
Need to
Good for
get this
them.
off my back.
Please.
The data in the paper that suggests that your fertility goes down in 34 is based on like French peasant woman in the Middle Ages. So do not listen to that data. It is bullshit. My mom had her son at 44. Thank you very much. Also, sidebar, she called me this morning. I couldn't pick up because I was on the tube. I'm so sorry. I need to tell you the story.
No.
Then I'm like, what's happening? I'm like, someone's dead. She goes, later. She just says the words later. I'm like, okay, well, someone is
She's
dead.
pregnant.
Oh, my God.
She's pregnant. Yeah, 65. And
I wouldn't have put it past them.
and so then I call her. She doesn't pick up. I'm like, what's going on? She goes, later. I call her and I'm like, who is dead? And she goes, your brother brought a girl home last night.
Oh, my God.
She just called you a ghost.
So my brother's 21.
So fun.
They were like already. So my dad was like staying up late on his laptop, whatever he's doing. He's posting on Facebook probably. And my mom is asleep. He shakes her awake and he goes, Robert brought a girl over. Robert brought a girl over. First of all, my mom's like, why are you waking me up for this?
Yeah,
she couldn't fall asleep until 4. And then she calls me today and she's like, Olga, I need your advice. How do I shame him enough so he doesn't treat the house as a hotel, but not so much that he has problems with sex? And I'm like, why are you asking me?
What was your advice?
I honestly, I was just like, I was like, make it about cleanliness. Make it about like, I don't want to wash your sheets, as opposed to you're a slut. I don't fucking know. All I'll say is that she texted him saying, please tell us when you bring people over. Am I understood? And my brother had the audacity of saying no. To the question, am I understood? Are you kidding?
I'm with him. I don't think there are going to be any consequences, so...
Yeah, I also the anxiety that I would felt like texting my mum saying, I'm bringing someone home tonight and we are gonna have sex with each other. Like,
You don't need to know their name because this is
Yeah.
just a casual
please
thing.
clear the area. I'm going to have sex with somebody. Yeah. No way, absolutely not. I respect that he
Can
just
you guys
went.
stay in the
Yeah.
bedroom?
That won't be happening.
Better to,
Yeah.
you guys don't need to know. It really isn't your business.
Oh my God, that is a nightmare. I love that she was thinking about that though.
And that I'm the authority to ask about this.
Olga's freaky. She'll know what to do.
You know who knows about sexual shame?
Yeah. You go straight to the expert.
Right, Nottingham.
I'm so sorry.
Speaking of sexual
Okay,
shame.
parents sound like legends. What did they do for a living?
My mum taught nursery. My father was a maintenance man in a hotel.
Throughout their entire
Various
lives?
different chains of hotels. Yeah. Yeah.
All
yeah.
right.
Yeah. I know.
What's your brother up to?
He's an archaeologist.
That's cool.
Does seem like I'm making this all up now, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That does sound too random.
Yeah. He wanted to do history at uni, but he wanted to go to Sheffield, and his girlfriend was going to Sheffield. Now a wife. Now a
Fair enough,
wife.
yeah.
Okay, so we're seeing a lot of a trend of young sweethearts.
Young sweethearts.
For
yeah,
life.
I am definitely the black sheep of the
Yeah.
family
Well,
in terms
you're-
of committing hard.
But you're with a woman who you met when you were young.
That's true, actually, yeah. But we have only been together a short while compared to these.
Because you were having
long
fun in your
lifers.
20s.
Exactly.
And
Fun in your
30s.
20s.
Yeah. And we'll get pregnant any day now. We're working on it. Yeah.
Guys,
Oh,
French peasants, you have so much time. I just want you both to know that you have so much time.
how do you know I'm not a French person?
The reason why French peasants in the Middle Ages weren't having weren't having children in their 40s is because they were dead by then. Okay, everybody,
I can't
calm
get
down.
into that. That introduces a new anxiety for me that I do not need.
It's not that you can't conceive; it's the fact that you'll be dead.
You are
This is
deceased.
crazy. Soon we're going to find out that you could probably do it when you're dead.
Well, surely they have that when you like freeze your husband's sperm and then he dies and you have his baby anyway.
Are people doing that?
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm doing that, yeah.
What if he's gone and you're getting
I thought you were
defrosting
with whose
it?
sperm?
Whose sperm is it?
Yeah.
Would that be creepy?
No, maybe it's fine.
Yeah, I think that would be creepy.
What, dead man's sperm?
Do you think... Do you think...
That's my new beer brand.
do you
My
think...
brewdog.
Do you think the best way to go about it would be to pop the ice cube up there and let it defrost inside?
Yes. That
As you
seems
watch
freshest.
old VHS footage of him.
VHS. How old is the husband?
How old is the sperm? It's been in the back of the fridge.
It's got freezer burn on it.
My brother is an archaeologist.
My brother is an archaeologist. Come on, guys. Speaking
He wanted
of
to go to
dusty
Sheffield
sperm.
to chase his girlfriend.
He wanted to go to Sheffield. He had applied to do history. He missed out on like one grade. They said, "Do you want to come to Sheffield and do archaeology?" And he was like, "Okay."
Cool. And now he just is an archaeologist.
and now
Which
he's a
digs has he
full-on-
worked on?
Sorry.
Which digs has he worked on?
I thought you said which dicks has he
That's
worked
what I
on?
heard.
And I was like, everything is
Get
about
your
this with you.
Get your fucking minds out of the gutter. Jesus Christ.
Which digs? I mean, I'm not gonna have famous digs, but he's a commercial archaeologist. So every
that mean?
time they break new ground somewhere, they have to send in a team of archaeologists to make sure that the site is not of historical significance.
Oh, so like the car park people in Leicester.
Yeah, so
Okay,
his
hell yeah.
That's such a cool job. I love that.
my brother did a master's in Leicester, and the guy who taught the masters was the Richard III.
I bet they
guy.
could not stop going on about
I
that.
bet they
They
could.
were
You
just talking
wouldn't,
about
though.
it
That's
all the
sick.
time.
And I went to uni in Leicester, and during Freshers Week, I peed in that car park.
Did you?
Yeah. I peed on the king, I
You
think.
peed in his grave.
Yeah, but it was pre-discovery.
Even better.
I didn't know he was there. I'm so sorry.
You like those people with two sticks who are trying to find a water source, but you were just
I was
drunk and peeing.
pissing for a king. Looks like there's a king around here. Yeah. So he's most of the time his job is sort of irritating construction workers, and they turn up
But I
and
say
they
this
got
is
their
very valuable.
they got their all their tools, and then they get excited because somebody discovers like a stick or something.
Yeah,
and
has
they're
he
like,
ever found anything?
I think
Cool.
they find things all the time. Yeah, and he gets very excited, and they go, all these posts they're set in a certain way, which means they were done for something. He loves it.
That's fun. I agree. I think that sounds cool.
He loves rocks. He loves digging.
Two
Good.
crazy things about archaeology.
Yeah.
And you know this better than I do. First and foremost, when I was 19, I went to an archaeological dig. Not something I talk about frequently, but something I am proud of. What's the craziest thing ever is that all the stuff that you dig up, they'll keep like a couple, but then if it's just like a bunch of pottery shards, they'll just put them back in.
Really?
They'll be like, what are they going to do with this?
Leave
It's
him
like,
for the next guy.
Yeah.
well, because
Someone
it's
else
also
come
like
have a little
preserves
dig.
time.
Yeah.
Because it's like when you dig later, if like more generations, they'll be like, this was the period here. Because if you take everything out, how are they going to know, right? And so a bunch of stuff gets dug back in because they're like, how many pottery shards can we show in the museum until people get the point? It's pottery.
Yeah.
And another thing, there was an amazing article about Istanbul, how I think they were trying to build like an underground subway system, but they kept digging and there was like more and more and more civilization. And they were like, which one is more important than the other? Like they had to just make the value call of like what sort of era is
Yeah.
more important. And that's an impossible judgment.
At what point do we just go,
Your history is not important
fuck
anymore.
this? Yeah. There's too much history here.
My
Burn it.
commute is more important. I mean, it's a very interesting philosophical question. I feel like for you as an anthropologist, that's
I like it. My favorite archaeology thing is that at my university, there was an archaeology professor called, and this is the whole fact, Severin Fowles. That was his name. And he was a cool dude. Shout
That
out
is
to
really cool.
Professor Severin Fowles. An amazing name. You have to become an archaeologist if that's your name, I think.
Do you think that was his real name or like
Yeah.
a stage name for a lecturer?
Oh, yeah. His lecturer.
Yeah.
I think it was his real name, but
Wow.
if he just chose it, I like that too.
all right. So you are very close to your cousins.
Yes.
What are they like?
They're very nice people. They're lovely people. We grew up next door to each other. My cousins, I'm really close with both of them. Like Jack, the one who's a day older than me, has always been one of my like closest friends. Oh, his brother Josh was very cool at school and very handsome, and people would tell me this. So they'd come over and they'd go, "You're Josh Keyworth's cousin," and I'd be like, yes, and they'd be like, "He's so fit," and I'd be like, "Why are you saying that to me?
What am I supposed to do
Like,
with
of
that
all
information?
people, why? What do I do?"
Are they your only cousins?
No, I have loads of cousins, but like they're all a lot older because, as I say, parents had
because
us.
of your old
they said-
parents.
So yeah, those were the only aunts and uncles that waited.
Do your parents each have lots of siblings?
My dad is one of 5. My mum is one of 3.
Oh, so yeah,
that's
loads.
lots.
Yeah.
Do you do big family reunions?
My dad's side, yes, probably. And my mum's side is slightly more complicated.
Okay.
A little
We like mystery.
more complicated. But my dad's. Everyone in Nottingham is still in Nottingham, so yeah, there's a lot of Keyworth
Nice.
get-togethers. I'm doing a show in Nottingham on my dad's birthday this
man.
coming Saturday, and it's going to be very Keyworth heavy, I think.
Oh, that's very,
That's
very
fun.
exciting.
Everybody's showing up.
So you mentioned Nottingham.
Yes.
In terms of going down the lineage of your 2 families
Uh-huh.
and the sort of Ancestry.com angle, where are we? Are we English?
Well, Keyworth is a small village in Nottinghamshire.
Okay.
Um,
Have you been?
yes. Oh yeah.
Did you feel like falling to your knees and
There's
sort
a
of
lovely
grasping the ground?
swimming baths there.
Oh,
Yeah. If,
something to be proud of.
yeah, I think so. And there's always buses going by with Keyworth on them, and I give them,
Okay,
I
that
give
is
them a little
fun.
nod. Give them a little nod.
That is fun.
Oh yeah, that's for me. But that is pretty much my dad's side. Yeah, English as far as I know. My mum's side, German.
Okay. What's the last name?
German.
If we are allowed to ask your mother's maiden name.
Well, my grandmother's maiden name was Lisa, Leeser.
Yeah.
That's a good name.
And then beyond that, Liebermann.
Okay.
So there's a famous German
love, man.
painter called Max Liebermann.
Yeah. Are you
Yeah.
related?
Yes.
Oh my God. Okay. Our first celebrity. our first
Hello.
celebrity link
Now
up.
we're in.
He's my great grandmother's uncle.
Ooh.
Wait, Max
Yeah.
Lieberman, you
Max
said?
Liebermann. Yeah.
Okay, I need to look this up.
Impressionist painter. We found
That's
this out when I
amazing.
was a kid. Well, I think we must have known it, but like because all of his property, it was Jewish property, was seized during the war, and they restored one of his homes as a gallery.
Wow.
Where is that?
In Berlin.
Look at this guy.
There he is.
Oh, hello.
There's old Max.
Oh my God.
Your
This is so chic.
grandmother's uncle.
My great grandmother's uncle.
Great grandmother's uncle.
Yes.
And you went to the gallery?
No, my grandmother and my mum went. I was a child when this was all happening. I need to go. I need to go and have a look at it all.
That's a
That
very
is so
interesting
cool.
connection.
I know, it is cool. It's
Yeah.
very cool. There's so much that we don't know because my grandmother fled Germany in 1939 at the age of like 14.
Is it because she was
And-
Jewish?
Yes. yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And sorry, should have said that. Yeah, she wasn't
Just
just
for
like,
fun,
I don't like
getting
the
out of there.
vibes. Yeah, no, she was.
I mean,
very-
that would be cool too.
Yeah, that
to
would
be like,
cool
I'm
to
not
be
on
like,
board with the
Yeah, I'm
Nazis.
not Jewish. but
Came
I'm not
from
staying.
Germany to the UK.
To the UK with her sister and her mother, but we only found out I only found out like a month or 6 weeks ago that like her father died that same year. We didn't know it. Because the reason we found this out is because there's some research going into my family because we have some eligibility to become German in some way.
Okay.
So we're
Get
doing
that EU
Brexit
passport.
Yeah, we're
Get that
doing.
EU
We're looking
passport.
into all the research.
Everyone's suddenly looking into that family history.
I listened to a podcast about it with Matt Lucas and David Baddiel because they've both done it, and it's so funny because Matt Lucas is talking about it, and he's like, I just think it's a really respectful thing that I should do for my family, and my grandparents would never have conceived of the fact that I could maybe have dual citizenship and become German. The whole thing's called like becoming German, and he's like, I think it's a great way to honour my ancestors. And then he goes, and also I tour a lot in Europe. And I was like driving, listening to it, and I was like, I feel you, Matt. I feel you.
So wait, do you think you would be eligible?
Yeah. Or you kind of need evidence of their existence and the fact that they were
There you go.
had to leave, and there's so much evidence because of their like social status at the
Yeah.
time as well.
So her dad died when he was already in the UK.
No, he
No.
didn't. He didn't come with them,
Oh no.
Yeah,
Okay.
he
So
died.
who it was her sister,
and their mum.
the
They-
three of them,
yeah,
and
yeah.
where did they arrive in the UK?
Cambridge.
Okay.
They
And
went to
that's where they
Cambridge.
based? How did they end up in Nottingham?
That is a great question. I
Thank you.
think that, see, we're always going to hit the point where I don't know, because my grandmother never talked about it either. So when they moved over, they were like, we like blend in.
Yeah.
So nobody speaks German. My mum never got taught German. We never got taught German. Like, so much of the history is sort of lost because it was just not spoken about. But I think, so she met my grandfather, who was also German Jewish, who also fled, but separately they were children. But they met.
What was his story of fleeing?
I don't know.
Oh wow.
That is
It
information
is
I
heartbreaking
don't know.
that like those some of the stories are just lost.
And I think he was in academia in some way, and I don't know whether he just got a job in Nottingham. I think maybe that was it. Like my grandfather, but I never met him. He died when my mum was 18. So I think that was it. It was for his job that they ended up in Nottingham.
So they both are
Crazy.
German heritage Jewish. Was your mom raised Jewish?
No. But they were Christian in Germany at the time, so they're racially Jewish.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
But they already
So,
were not practicing.
So they were not practicing Jews, and they obviously recognised what was coming down the line for them and just decided to up sticks and move, which is, they were very privileged at the time.
Yeah, to be able to. And to come with your mum is kind of amazing.
Yeah. So, well, no, my mum was not born yet.
But your grandma to come with her mum, at least like...
Yeah.
With
sure.
an adult, my goodness.
Rather than just getting the kids out. Yeah, they were all able to come. So, family jewels-wise, like, stuff was sewn into clothes and yeah.
That's... chills, crazy.
Yeah. Which is real nice because this is a fun story to lighten the mood. Like, there was a ring, piece of jewellery that my grandmother had that my mum had it. And it's the most decadent ring that anyone's ever seen. We are not decadent people. My mum is not a flashy person. It's a ring that has little diamonds all the way around the band, then a big diamond and a big emerald. And it's bonkers.
Yeah.
My mum's like, I don't know what to do with it. I think my grandmother paid to just keep it in a bank because she was just I don't know what to do with it. And recently, so last year, my mum took it to kind of like get a valuation on it, basically. She was like, I don't know what to do with all this stuff. And this guy was like, the guy she took it to was like, this is really unusual because you would never put an emerald and a diamond together. They wear at such different rates that this is not something that you would usually see. And he asked what my grandmother's birthstone was. And she was like, well, she was born in May, so it would be an emerald. And he was like, I think that this was probably something that was commissioned for your grandmother when she was born.
Oh my God.
And I think it was given to her on her 21st birthday, or meant to be given to her on her 21st birthday. But obviously circumstances changed so much. So my mum just had this ring that she was like, suddenly it was like, this has so much sentimental value.
It's really hard not to know with that.
And in the end, she was like, do you know what I'm going to do? She had it broken down. And she had the little diamond set into her wedding ring. She had the big diamond turned into a necklace. And then she gave the emerald to my brother because he proposed to his girlfriend last year.
Then it did a lot of business in your family.
So her engagement ring is now my grandmother's emerald.
Oh my God, that's so beautiful.
I think that's
nice.
really lovely.
I think I'm gonna cry.
It's really cool. And do you know what the first thing I said was?
What are you gonna?
What's mine?
Are you going to get the pendant?
Where's mine? Where's my fucking diamond? I don't know, probably.
You can get, I feel like you can guilt her
My
into the pendant.
favourite thing is to shout, where's my heirloom? I think my mum hit a point, she was like, I'm 70 years old.
I'm never going to wear
have
this ghost
carried
ring.
this ring around. I've got to do something with it. So she was like, finally, it's just going to, like, her mother before her carried it around for 80 years. Like,
that's
what
magical.
are we going to do? So it's real sweet. It's real nice.
That's really, really sweet. And then that means, like, because it's 3 items, then it will go, like, farther in the family.
Yeah,
right?
this is true. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's beautiful.
Sounds like two are coming to you, mate.
I'm going to swallow one of them. My favourite thing. I went with Sean McLaughlin to help find an engagement ring when he proposed to his now wife. And my favourite joke to make in all of these expensive jewellery shops was, should I just swallow that right now? I don't know why. There's something about expensive jewellery
Did it
that
make
makes
them very tense around you?
Yeah. I just love the idea of just, because what can you do then? I mean, I get arrested, I guess.
They'd have to be just like,
would you
need
be
to
in
eat some
custody until you
fibre and
poop?
I guess so, yeah.
sit here.
Yeah. It's a good way to get like a...
Do they force you to go through your own poop afterwards?
Oh, yeah, or do they do it for you? Can
Yeah.
I be trusted? What if
You do it again?
goes straight back in? Yeah.
That's horrible.
They go, just leave the poop and walk away. I'm like, I'll go through it for you.
Being hazed in the police department, like a rookie that just starts off and they put him on poop duty.
Yeah.
All poop related crimes.
You've got to talk to all the idiots that swallow the engagement rings.
Okay,
so upset with that.
Just thinking about someone really enjoy. Actually, no, the thing I like about it is the idea you could be so smug about an engagement ring, which is a thing I find so annoying anyway. But you wouldn't even know that engagement ring had been twice through Sarah Keyworth's stuff.
You're award-winning comedian.
That's how you increase the value of these things.
Just showing it to your friends.
Okay, so we know how your mom's parents met and their story. What is the story of her dad's parents?
I don't know.
Were they in the war? That's a big one. That's a big one.
They must have been in the war.
Just mathematically speaking.
Well, they must have. Yeah, they would have been around at that time. I don't know how they met. That's a good question. I should ask my dad that.
Which grandparents have you known in your lifetime?
Just the one. Just my grandmother.
Just the one.
Yeah.
On your dad's side, on your mum's side.
On my mum's side.
On your mum's side. Oh.
Yeah, the
jewellery.
German jewelry one. I did meet my dad's mum, but she died when I was quite young.
Yeah, you must have old grandparents.
Yeah. Super old. So my grandmother, the one I did know, died when I was 14. And she was 83, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, I mean, I did have in my last show that I, which was kind of about my friend passing away. So it was quite an angry show about sort of grief and things. I had this bit about how I thought grandparents were a bit of a stupid concept. And I'd say, like I was trying to make the point that I was like, my grandmother was like 73 when I was born. And I was like, why did they introduce us?
We have nothing in common.
Why did they bother? Like, it's just going to, like, set me up for a sadness down the road. Like, just keep us apart and, you know, tell me about her. She sounds great, but I don't need to go through that. She was lovely, though. I'm glad I met her.
So funny. I always am fascinated by the concept that, like, for you, your grandparent is, like, I'm their whole world. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm a delight to them. I'm the best thing about their life.
Yeah.
And to them, it's like, you're maybe 8% of my life.
Here's a child I met.
Yeah, I've spent the majority / the entirety of my life not knowing who the fuck you are.
I've been through so much without
I
you.
simply don't care.
That's how I feel about my mum. My mum's had more life without me than with me.
Oh, that's so true.
Well, someone she's met quite recently, actually.
Yeah. I'm 31. She had me at 40.
Yeah.
It's outrageous.
You're just some person.
Yeah, I'm a chapter. It's so disgraceful. I'm fuming.
I do have the strongest memory of going to see, because I have one very old grandparent who died when I was about 4. Who was 96. He was born in 1910.
Whoa.
He was like really, really old. And I remember going to see him. And even as a little child, this is the patriarchy, but I remember being like, I must be delightful to this old man.
Yeah.
Like, he has nothing, but he has me. I will go and be cute to this old man.
I'm his last chance at happiness.
Psychotic.
It must also be super weird to see like your young face on a stranger and be like, huh?
I'm a little child.
Yeah.
There's a face I haven't seen in years.
I mean, that happens with people with dementia, right? Yeah, my granddad is constantly confusing like my sister and my mom.
Really?
And his wife, because he'll look at my mom and
and they just all kind of look
call
the same.
her his wife's name.
Oh, I see.
Because you're like, because in his head,
She looks a lot like her.
Oh, it's
Weird.
confusing, isn't it?
It's a porous thing, an old mind, isn't it?
My grandmother's sister died, I think, only recently. So I think she'd probably lived like another 8 to 10 years after my grandmother, and she had Alzheimer's and dementia. And I remember going to see her just before she died, and we went out for the day. She was in a care home, and we took her out for the day, and she'd gotten herself like she'd asked for a juice, like an elderflower thing, and it was so lovely because she kept every time she sipped it, she'd go, "Oh, that's nice," and then she'd sip it again. She'd go, "Oh, that's nice." And every time she sipped it, she'd then immediately forget that she tasted it. So she was experiencing it again and again and again.
Well, you see those tweets
that's
that are
nice.
like, I hope I get Alzheimer's so I can like watch The Office again.
No, God.
She's just enjoying that drink. Every sip of that drink
was like
That is the best possible outcome of that.
Yeah. I don't know how the rest of it was, but that was nice.
Yeah.
That bit was fun.
Yeah, you got to really focus on that.
Yeah. She loved that juice. She loved that juice.
So do you know how your parents were raised? What was their vibe growing up?
I don't know.
Because your dad had like 4 siblings.
My dad was the second youngest of 5. And I think as far as I can tell, it was absolute fucking carnage, chaos.
5 kids?
Yeah, they were from quite a deprived area of Nottingham. And I mean, all the stories. My dad used to say that he used to sleep in a matchbox. I remember being a child and literally thinking that was true, because it was just the imagery of it was.
Yeah, it's nice, like a mouse.
Yeah, and his sister had a bunk above him, and he used to kick her through the bunk. That's what the memories I've been.
Aww.
Given. Yeah, my aunt Kath says my dad was a little shit growing up, like real like bastard. But apparently he's lovely now, very gentle now. But she grew up with 4 brothers, so she's very tough.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
that
4
was a
brothers
frickin'
is too
nightmare.
many.
Yeah.
That sucks.
And they're all they're like sitcom characters as well, in that like, did you ever see, there was that program on Disney that was like 7 brothers. What was that called? Did you remember that? And it was all
A TV show?
Yeah, they were all blonde, and one of them was
The Sound of Music?
No, one of them was, you know, the like jerky, not real love interest in the first Princess Diaries.
Yes.
Blonde hair, fluffy
Yes.
blonde hair. He played one of these
Okay, I have
brothers.
no idea what the show is.
I have no idea what this
anyway,
is.
that
That was your visual of what their family was.
So the oldest brother Chris was like a T-boy, like, so is that what I mean? Yeah, like cool, like biker.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tony, second oldest, like bit of a square.
All right.
So complete
With
contrast.
earrings.
We love that.
Complete
Straight
contrast.
away.
Then you've got like brash Kath in the middle, the one girl, and then my dad and my uncle Vic. who
How
are
would you
just-
describe their archetypes?
Their vibe is like might as well be twins kind of thing.
Cute.
Just sort of causing chaos.
Oh, that's
like,
so fun.
very sweet. Yeah. They
That's
were kind
really,
of
really
double
fun.
act, because I think they're only like a year or 2 apart.
Which uncle is the one that you live next door to?
Vic, the youngest one.
Okay, so it's the ones that he was
Oh,
25. Oh, together
so
forever.
they
Yeah,
wanted
together
to be
forever.
together.
Yeah, it's very sweet.
That's
Yeah.
really, really sweet.
It's really sweet.
And your mom gets along with the brother, obviously, because that's who introduced.
Yes, yeah. So it's very, our lives are very, very entwined, in the sense that, so when my parents got engaged, they went to a pub still near my parents' house to tell Vic and Marilyn that they were getting married, and Vic and Marilyn had also got engaged. And then my parents were like, "Oh, okay, well, we're going to get married on this day in August," and Vic and Marilyn were like, "We were actually going to get married on that day in August," and because at the time Marilyn was a teacher and couldn't live with Vic if she wasn't married, and she was starting.
Wait, is that a thing?
Yeah. That was the law.
When did that change?
Probably not long after
Yeah,
this.
Wait, is it
It's not in
just
the morning.
teachers? Or was it a different...
I don't know whether it was all women of all professions. You couldn't live with. No, I think it must have been the teaching profession.
That's crazy.
But this was got married in the 70s.
Fucking hell. Jeez, all right.
I don't know if maybe it was law or just a rule for her job.
But they let them have the earlier date.
Yeah, they were like, you have the earlier date. But I think
Aw.
they were only like a week or 2 afterwards. And then the same thing happened when they were pregnant. They went
Yeah,
to go
because
into
one day apart.
Yeah.
We born in the same hospital.
Yeah, so this is the thing. I think Jack was late and I was a bit premature, only like a week or 2. And my mum had to be sedated because I think I was like sideways or something. So she was unconscious. So the first person to see me alive in my family was my uncle, because he was coming to the hospital to see Marilyn and Jack.
Oh my god.
And I think it was like, he like was walking through the corridor and this woman was like wheeled by and he was like, "Oh, I know her." And then the baby went by and he was like, "Well, I guess I know the baby too." Yeah.
So you were like a unit with that family.
Yeah.
That's
There's a
amazing.
photograph of my mum and Marilyn in hospital beds next to each other with their babies.
That's so
with
cute.
us. That's me.
Yeah.
I'm
the
the
baby
baby.
who was I.
Yeah.
So are you very close with your aunt as well?
Yeah. We're all very close. We go to there at Christmas and see them and all.
Oh my god, that's so cute.
Yeah, it's sweet. It's very sweet.
And the 4 kids are also very, very good. Close
Yeah,
together, like
really
basically
close.
siblings,
Well,
right?
this is the funny thing. My cousin Josh got engaged last year, and my brother was like a little cagey about the whole thing, and it was because he was in the middle of planning his.
You're
engagement.
cosmically connected.
It's
You're
really
cosmically
weird.
connected.
And then because my brother got married this year, but the first thing he did was phone Josh and check that Josh wasn't planning to get married on that day. He was like, "Before I confirm anything, when are you planning on getting married?"
Oh.
Okay, what's your cosmic connection with the other sibling?
I think our cosmic connection is that we just have like I am never funnier than when I'm with Jack. Like we are just like we have the
The
vibe.
banter?
yeah. We went over to
The podcasting chemistry?
Louisa and I went over to their house recently, and I do this thing. Louisa doesn't like it, where if she says like she's going to do anything, this is my partner. If she says she's going to do anything, like she's like, oh, I might go for like a jog in the park. I'll say, do you want me to chase you around the park? We were at Jack's house, and he said, oh, I'm just going to pop to the co-op to get some more like tonic water. And I was like, do you want me to chase you to the co-op? And he went, yes. And then we both put our shoes on and I chased him to the co-op. And I think Kirsten, Jack's girlfriend, was upstairs and she came down. She was like, where have they gone? And Louise was like, Sarah's chasing Jack to the co-op. And then we got back and Kirsten was like, you know, when I first met Jack, I thought like, it's so great because I feel like I've met this guy and like we both, our sense of humor's click. And there's a little part of me that was like, I think maybe like I'm the person who just gets this guy's sense of humor. And then I met you. And I was like, I'm very sorry.
You can't, a lifetime's worth of shared jokes.
Yeah.
You can't beat that.
Okay, there's like things you dream about when you're a kid that then with time you sort of discard because you're like, no, I can't have a baby at the same time as my best friend and we live in the same house. Do you know what I mean? Like that's a fantasy, blah, 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 blah. And then when you're like, they are living that dream.
Yeah, it's real sweet.
Like they're two couples living next door to each other, 20 years of fucking hardcore partying, sniffing lines off each other, I assume. And then
Allegedly.
two kids at the same time, and then fucking hole in the fence. That's the dream. That's
hole
the
in the
thing.
fence.
I would have fantasized that as like at 12. I'd be
Yeah,
like,
I had
oh my God,
not
that's the
really
dream.
thought that was people were doing that. I like that.
It
It's
almost
very
is like
wholesome.
it's so wholesome and something like, oh, no, that's a pipe dream. Like people have their own lives. It's like no, you can't live the dream.
The house that we lived in before that, I didn't live next door to a family, but there were 3 families in a line, and on one side was a woman called Rachel with her daughter Alex, and we had a gate between our houses, so we would run between theirs. And then there was a family with 2 children called Abele and Pablo, and we put a hole in the fence. So we were 3 gardens across.
Oh my God.
And it was the best.
This is
It was the
idyllic.
best. So I actually never had a point in my childhood where I didn't.
There wasn't a hole
I
in the
didn't have more than one garden. Yeah.
How do you go about? What are the logistics of making a hole in a fence? Is just a chainsaw job, or
I don't know. Dad did it.
I am just literally imagining like a circular hole in a wood.
cartoon
Yeah,
hole.
yeah.
fence.
Like it was like definitely with Abel and Pablo. It was just it looked like someone had just run through it at speed.
Yeah, just
Very Looney
Yeah.
Tunes vibe.
Oh, to
Yeah.
sneak through a little. You just never sneak through anything when you're an adult. It was nice when you're a child.
You can sneak into whatever you want.
I know, I really could, and I
Yeah.
haven't been. And why? Now I'm thinking why.
Yeah, you can have like you could the thing that always in my head is the ultimate peak fantasy is putting up a tent in your backyard. Camping in your backyard.
Did you
I've
do it,
never
though?
done that in my entire life, but to me that's like the naughtiest thing you can imagine. It's like the bed is right there, but we're not in
We
it.
used to do that as teenagers.
I
It
would
was a
sometimes have
very-
parties and people would bring tents and sleep in the garden, and I would go and sleep in my bed inside.
a big like it's my birthday. I'm putting a tent in the garden. We're all gonna sleep in it. That was like
That's
our
nice.
British teenager life.
God,
Yeah.
that sounds absolutely gorgeous.
You
I mean, I don't think you could
sneak
do
in a
that in
bottle of
Russia, to
vodka.
be fair, just because of the negative temperatures.
that's
Maybe
true,
that's
that's
why it's
true.
so naughty.
Yeah, you're like, oh my god, we're being so bad. We're freezing to death.
Were you a camping holiday family? Did you-
Yes.
Were you?
very
I
much
wondered.
so.
That's
Yeah.
all the time, once a year.
Yeah. So, what a big thing we would do is drive to France and camp in
Hell
France.
yeah!
Because my parents had friends out in France, so we would go and do like a couple of days of driving. Big old tent. I've got one of my most sort of visceral childhood memories is camping in a back garden of my parents' friends, Lynn and Jim, and Lynn would always feed stray cats, and she had so many stray cats on the go that we put this, and it was a classic tent, like a cartoon tent, just like a triangle. We all got into this tent. I don't know how I'm like 5 or something. And these cats just went mad for the tent. And I'm lying down in this tent, and I can just see little claws coming through. They're all climbing,
God.
and they're all coming through the top of the tent. That's one of
Oh
my
my god, that's crazy.
mad
It's like a
childhood
horror
memories.
film.
Yeah. But they're going like,
That's wait. You were sleeping in her garden, all 4 of you in a tent,
yeah. We'd camp in their garden.
and because it was like they could see their friends, and you could go in and use the toilet, but you could be outside camping. Why Why?
I don't think they had room. They had.
You
two...
were really hanging out with them, but you were just like that was where you would sleep.
As we got older, they like renovated another bit, and then we would sleep in
that
in
was the
one
end of
bit.
the camping.
But when we first started doing it, they didn't have space for us all, so we would
That's
go
fun.
to France, camp in the garden.
That's so fun.
Okay, I have a very serious question.
Go
And
on.
it might be the last. Since your parents are partying legends,
This is real memory lane stuff.
as we know because of the 20 years of hardcore partying that they
Yeah.
did. I, as a person with two sober parents who I've never even like had a Christmas drink with, that's my biggest fantasy is to drink with my parents, or maybe take a weed edible.
You can drink with my parents.
That's my question. Like, do you party with your parents?
Oh yeah.
Okay, talk me through it. When did it start? Was it like, could you have wine with dinner before, or was it like your 18th birthday, let's have a pint?
It was. I was not allowed to drink as a teenager. Like, I think Smirnoff Ice
Oh yeah.
when I was maybe sort of 17.
Oh yeah.
But my mum had my mum was quite strict.
Okay.
And so, like, they were not the kind of parents that were like, oh, yeah, you can try this or you can do that. But then the moment I turned 18...
They were like, we're going out.
and they were like, yeah, you're going to drink wine. Our favourite thing to do is to have, like, a meal at my parents' house. We'll sit around the table, drink some nice wine and just listen to records and talk.
Oh, so it's like
So,
chill
yeah.
partying now.
Yeah. Dinner
A
party
very
vibes.
refined time.
Yeah, very. I mean, not always. But then my family have big parties. My uncle does this festival every year. So my uncle got randomly quite like rich.
Which uncle is that? The one that next door?
Next
uncle?
door uncle, which
Okay.
is why they don't live next door anymore. But he sold his company, and so there was just this point where they went from being like a normal family to just like very wealthy, and that way where and like nobody knew what to do with this. And so now he does a festival in his back garden every year called Keyfest.
Yes.
And it's open to their entire village. And he gets a stage, and he's in it.
So
Are you
cool.
getting booked? Are you performing at K-Fest?
Oh, I did, but for a few years. But like, what kept happening is like I've just got a memory of somebody coming over and going, Sarah, you need to go on, and my mum going, my client is not able to. My client is incapacitated. They will not be taken to the stage tonight. But my uncle is in a band with my brother.
Oh my God! Stop.
Yeah, so
This is so cute.
So they're headlining
yeah,
K-Fest.
so they
You're
often,
a Disney Channel original
I think
series.
so. My uncle is in a band with my brother, and a boy I went to school with called a man I went to school with called Tom Joyce.
He was a boy then.
He was a boy then, and now he's a man, who's one of my school friends.
Wait, just the three of them?
and then a guy who lives in the village.
What are they
doing
called?
covers? They doing originals?
and my brother's best friend Stephen. They do covers. They collect money for charity, and then my cousins are in a band together, Josh and Jack, and with Dan and his sister, and then his sister's boyfriend.
So musical.
Very musical family. My family. I'm not very musical, but everyone else plays an instrument of some sort, and then they'll get whatever local artist they can get to play.
So cool.
So would your family
And-
like jam together?
Yeah, they'll jam. They like a little jam. There's guitars everywhere.
And you were just like throwing in some jokes in
And
the
I just
breaks.
get
Tambourine?
up and I just
Just scatting.
Yeah, basically, and yeah, and then they'll like do a DJ set. Like my cousin will get, and it's a good time.
This is so fun.
That sounds incredible.
Yeah. It's very fun.
Honestly, this is the
If you
most.
ever want to come to K-Fest, just let me know. It's often in
Literally want
July.
to go to K-Fest. It sounds so fun.
Okay, I'm gonna put this on record. We've sat through quite a few of these podcasts, and I will say that your family is a family that I would rather be a member of any family. That
Really?
that
Very
sounds sick.
desirable dynamics.
Yeah, it's very nice. We're a wholesome bunch.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Sarah, do you have anything to plug?
Yes.
Please.
I would like to plug. I'm still on tour. I will be touring the US
Oh
of
yeah.
A. The US of A.
Well, you must go and see Sarah. If you live in America, go. It's all over. Is it all
Yeah,
over?
and I'm still doing the UK. I'm doing. God, look, I do social media. My name's Sarah Keyworth.
Find Sarah Keyworth.
Find me.
You can remember by looking at the buses.
Looking at
Around
the buses in
Nottingham.
Nottinghamshire.